Now let's review our order of operations so that we can start doing bigger things in mathematics. If you'll remember, that little device for helping you to know the correct order of the order of operations was please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Now if we break those down, let's refresh on what each one of those things mean. The P in the please stands for parentheses, parentheses, and grouping symbols. Those come first. Then, after that, we do exponents. The E stands for exponents. And we just reviewed what exponents mean. Next, the my dear stands for multiply and divide. Now, neither one of these are more important than the other. In fact, they're basically the same operation. It's just one goes forward, the other goes backwards. So we do these left to right as we see them. We don't do all the multiply and then all the divide. It doesn't work that way. We work multiply and divide however it appears, left to right. Then finally, once we've done all of that, the last step is always to add and to subtract. And again, those are both basically the same operation. Adding goes forward, subtracting goes backwards. But because neither one is more important than the other, we work them left to right. Let's try some practice problems and see what we can do here. Here we have 64 divided by 4 times 2. So if we go according to our order of operations, we have no parentheses, there's no exponents, next is multiplication and division. We do have multiplication and division. Now, you might be tempted to do the multiplication first because that's the way we hear it, multiply and divide. But remember, neither one is more important than the other. We do them as we see them, left to right. So in this case, we're actually going to do the division first. 64 divided by 4 would be 16, and then I'm going to recopy and do everything else. Now we have 16 times 2, which would be 32. Now, if you did this the opposite way, you would not get the correct answer. So it must be done in the proper order. Let's try another one. Here we have something that looks a little bit more complicated. 3 squared times 11 plus 3 and then minus 4. Now you have to do the correct order of operations. So we do parentheses and grouping symbols first. Here we have a bracket, which is a grouping symbol, and then inside that we have a parenthesis. We always work our way from the inside out when we have multiple grouping symbols. It's like, layers upon layers. We work from the inside out. So that's telling us that we're going to do this very inside grouping symbol first. So we're going to have 3 squared, and then our bracket. We're going to do the 11 plus 3, which would be 14, and I'm recopying everything else. Now, we've gotten rid of our parentheses, but we still have more grouping symbols. We have this 14 minus 4 inside the brackets, so that has to be done next. So 3 squared, and then our bracket. 14 minus 4 would be 10. Close our bracket. Now, we have an exponent and we have a multiplication. Remember that if you don't see an operation, that should be automatically understood that it's a multiplication. So between multiply and exponent, our exponent has to come first. So we do 3 squared, which literally means 3 times 3 would be 9. And then I'm recopying everything else. Now all we have left is multiplication. This literally says 9 times 10, which is 90. So there's our answer.